again, so you guys can watch this later. And if you guys want to, of course, I'll be putting this in Google Classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and do a demo real quick once I get my ducks in a row. And I'm going to go ahead and work on the voiceover stuff. I just have to tell the classroom that we are live, so in case they want to watch it that way. But hopefully you guys are having a good day in Zoom and on YouTube. It's really exciting. Okay. Let me turn on my video. So, all right, I'm just going to notify the classroom real quick, and then we're going to do the demos. And of course, Michael will be going over like Xcode settings next week, remember? But I will specifically talk about voiceover settings and other random things that you should definitely know. And for voiceover users, like I said, if you have any questions about how to navigate Xcode, this is honestly the best time to ask so that maybe you might be ahead for next week's class. I don't want to go too far ahead, but I want to make sure that you guys are prepared. So we've already had one student who's actually created a Hello World application. And if you guys are really bored this week, I might challenge you guys to see if you can create the Hello World application, create a project yourselves. It's not required, of course, but let's see what you guys can create, okay? Because, it's all about exploration and imagination. So let's see what you guys can create. Okay. Right. So let's see. Welcome. If you have a question, please ask it. I will make note that we are recording so that people, if they need to watch it in the future, can, because we're going to be doing a workshop in probably about 10 minutes on Xcode settings for VoiceOver. But I would like to answer all questions first beforehand. So I know we have one person just joined us. So if you have questions, you do not need to raise your hand. Frankly, I have all my alerts turned off for VoiceOver so that way it doesn't go crazy when I'm demoing. So if you guys have questions, just go ahead and unmute. As long as you guys don't talk over each other, we are going to be golden. So if anybody has questions or if you're just lurking, that's all right as well. But thank you guys for being here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna get ready for the demo real quick. I'm just trying to close everything out so we don't have so many windows in our way. And I'm gonna show you guys a couple of things. Um, and I am monitoring chat and office hours as well. So if you guys are in YouTube land or technically even in Zoom land, I am monitoring somewhat in Zoom land. And you know what, actually, people ask me all the time. I just got a question on one of the platforms. What can I do when I learn this skill? I mean, that's a good question. And actually, one of the things that I did was I made a app on my phone that would read the YouTube chats that I get. So it queries the YouTube API and it reads them with TTS. So like you guys could be doing things like this soon. Well, I don't want to say soon, but you could, right? So these are kind of the power of these apps. And we're working on AI right now with Apple Intelligence, which is absolutely powerful. So there are definitely a lot of use cases for this technology. I'm going to go ahead real quick because I haven't loaded the app on my phone yet. So I'm going to show you guys real quickly because I need to load the YouTube chat app on my phone because I just got a new phone and you guys know that I haven't set everything up yet. So this is a perfect opportunity to show you how I would actually get this going. And yes, I did fix the problem about my certificates. So if you recall in class yesterday, we had a problem where my Xcode was saying that I needed to restart and do all this other stuff. All I had to do was go under preferences, and then I went under my account, and then teams, and then my Techopolis, and I added a new certificate, and that actually fixed it. So thank you guys. Oh, welcome. Okay. Does any of you guys need help? Who are the iPhones in the room? If you guys are named iPhone, it'd be nice to rename yourselves. That way I know who is here, just so that I know. And I'm gonna go ahead. Like I said, I want to make sure everybody has questions, or if they have questions, that I get them answered. And then I'm gonna do a few different demos to show you guys how I deal with Xcode when loading a real project onto my phone that I've already set up. So remember we were talking about yesterday when I already set up Xcode, and of course I fixed my error today. And I'm going to show you guys how I put this app on my phone and kind of show you guys what it does, right? Because you're wondering, well, what is this cool app? And the reason I'm showing you is because people may be like, well, you know, all of this Swift code, what does this amount to, right? When you start learning Swift or Xcode, what is this going to come to, right? What is the final product? And I think it's definitely a great idea to show off what the final product is, because it also could be a source of motivation, right? Because you'd be like, oh, I could build something like this later. So I just thought I would mention that. But anybody have any questions before I get the demo prepped up and we get started?
Taylor, if you have a .org website, can you use the same concept with the?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And Melissa, even if like you have a .org that's a nonprofit, you can actually get a free Apple developer account if you're a nonprofit.
Okay. Thank you for telling me that.
You're welcome. All right, do you have a nonprofit, Melissa?
Yes.
Good to know. What you do is you go under fee waiver, and then you
hmm
can put in your 501(c)(3) or 501(c) fill in the blank,
hmm
and you can be able to get a free Apple developer account for that nonprofit.
Okay, I will do that.
It just has to be tax verified through the IRS and all that
Right. Yeah,
JOs.
of course.
So yeah, like in the org, it would be what is your nonprofit? I didn't even know you had one.
So it's fbhfellowship.org. We have Bible study and we have a YouTube and
Is it like your church?
podcast. Nope, it's just a organization that I started about 4 years ago.
Well, see, you could possibly build an app.
That's what I want to do.
Okay. So, see, you're already getting the final picture, right? You're already like, this is my goal. And this is actually the best thing, y'all. When you have a goal in mind, right? You want to obtain it. How do you do it? And that's why I'm going to show you guys this app so you guys can be like, oh, wow, what's possible with me learning this set of skills? So let me go ahead and I got to turn my voiceover speed down because I had to speed it up. And I'm going to show you guys the Xcode voiceover stuff first. That way you guys know how to do it. So you guys are going to learn that. And then I'm going to show you guys this other demo. Whoops. Maybe. Hold on a second, y'all. Trust me, I'm not as much of a mess as I was in class yesterday. Kidding. I don't know. So okay, I think I had it at, hold on. I think I had it at 55. All right.
Zoom share toolbar window system dialog. Audio start video.
Can you guys hear my speech? Is it coming through?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So, how is the speech rate? Is it too fast, too slow? What's the deal here?
Vid partic.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. I think it's at 55. So, that's fine with me. Okay. Welcome to whoever just joined. We are starting a voiceover demo of how to set up your Xcode for success. So, that's what we're doing right now. And again, I'll take questions in a little bit once I go through parts of this demo. Who knows, probably Michael that joined anyway. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and I'm already in VoiceOver Utility. So VoiceOver Utility, if you recall, is where you can change VoiceOver settings, right? And you can either do VO F8, right? Or you could just do Spotlight VoiceOver Utility. I'm already here, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. But what we're going to do today is create an activity for Xcode. And we're wondering what's an activity. An activity is basically a set of, well, configurations for an application. So think about if you've ever used NVDA or JAWS, same kind of thing here. So I'm going to actually open up just Xcode. That way it will actually show up as an application. I'll show you why that's needed later.
Now an application.
I'm just going to hit
Xcode. Open. Xcode. Welcome to Xcode.
And you notice that I have a few more projects than I did yesterday. I'm not going to go through this just yet. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my VoiceOver utility. The reason I have Xcode open again is that way I can choose for my running list of apps what I can actually have as a activity, the app to trigger it. So I'll say if I'm in Xcode, then trigger this activity. So I'm gonna go back to VoiceOver
Finder,
Utility.
Zoom, VoiceOver Utility,
Here it
VoiceOver.
is. And
Heading primary pronunciation.
hold on.
Search VoiceOver Utility.
Okay.
Search text utility categories and utility navigation web. Sound, visuals, commands, braille, activities.
Here's activity.
Out of set up activities, empty table, add activity button.
Notice I don't have any. You know what? Before I do that though,
Set up search voiceover Zoom minimum close button.
I guess it's maximized. I thought, okay, I was like, wait, it's so small. Let me continue.
Minimize Zoom voiceover search set up activities, add activity.
Add.
Untitled content selected. Edit text.
I'm gonna call this coding. Just backspace
Selection
here.
deleted. CODING.
And yes,
Coding.
you can set this up for both VS Code and Xcode. I would challenge you. I'm going to show you guys how to do it for Xcode. And if you want to use VS Code, I will challenge you for you guys to set it up yourself, see if you can follow the steps. Okay, so that's my little assignment for y'all if you decide to take it. So I'm going to VO write.
Activities coding. Activities coding.
Okay.
Out of settings to apply for this activity. Verbosity unchecked, checkbox.
Verbosity.
Set, verbosity dimmed, button. Visuals unchecked, set, visuals dimmed, button.
Right, so I can set
Voices
different things
unchecked,
here.
set, commands unset, pronunciation set, braille unchecked, check.
Right, so you guys see where I'm
Set,
at here.
braille dimmed, navigation set, web unchecked, set, sound unchecked,
So I'm going to
set, hotspots unchecked.
Right, so you guys see like set this, set that. It's different than what you see in the settings interface for VoiceOver Utility, isn't it? Yes, definitely very much so. So I'm going to keep going.
Automatically switch to this activity for
Automatically switch to this activity 4. Now here's what I do first.
contexts.
Context.
Select contexts.
Select.
Menu 9 word processing. Deselect all console.
I'm just pressing up arrow.
Source code. File system. Spreadsheet. Social media. Messaging.
So you have all these different things like messaging, social media, source code,
Narrative.
narrative.
Word processing.
Okay.
Deselect console. Source code.
I'm just going to say source code. I actually haven't done this since the new OS, so I didn't even know this was a thing. So I guess you could
Hey,
do it all
Taylor,
in one shot.
Sorry to interrupt. I got lost. So you created an activity, you named the activity, and then how did you get where you are now?
Oh, I just kept pressing VO right.
Until you got to,
The set context.
okay.
Sorry about that. Again, if I'm going too fast, just let me know because I talk too fast sometimes. Okay, so
File system. Source code.
source
Closing
code.
menu. Source apps and websites. Select apps and websites. Menu button.
In addition, I can select the app, right? So I'm kind of narrowing it down even further.
Menu 6 finder. Deselect all. Add website ellipsis.
I just pressed up arrow again.
Add app ellipsis. Zoom. Xcode.
See? Do you see why that Xcode's so important that's already open? Because now it's in the list of apps to add to the activity. Right? That's why it's important to have Xcode open, even just at the basic level of the main screen. Selecting
Closing
that.
menu. Add activity button.
And of course, I need to go to the left. Again, the reason I went all the way to the right first is because sometimes, knowing my ADHD brain, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to select this, 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 and then, oh, I forgot to actually select where this activity applies. So I just like to do it that way. You don't have to. You could just, do it the way it's logically ordered, but because of my ADHD brain wanted to go too fast, that's kind of how I have been doing it. And again, since it's the new OS, I think things have changed slightly, so I wasn't sure exactly how it was all laid out because I haven't done this since OS 26, obviously. So let me go back.
Apps and web source content. Automatic hot set. Sound.
So I can select different categories.
Sound unset. Web dimmed button.
Remember, I'm VO left.
Web unset. Navigation dimmed. Navigation set. Braille dim. Braille set. Pronunciation dimmed button. Pronunciation set. Commands dim. Command set. Voices dimmed
I think I'm
button.
gonna set.
Voices unchecked set. Visuals. Visuals unset. Verbosity dimmed button. Verbosity unchecked.
I'm gonna set
Checked.
this.
Verbosity set. Verbosity button. Visuals unset. And dialogue. Speed. Verbosity.
So now I'm in the verbosity, right? I hit verbosity, I check the box, and then I set verbosity. Okay, so I checked the verbosity checkbox. Welcome to whoever just joined. I selected the verbosity, and now I'm going to go ahead and look at the verbosity settings. Again, I'm doing this one category at a time to make sure I get everything I need. Now, you can go back later and obviously fix it, but I want to make sure I do it right the first try, right? I want to make sure I'm very thorough and precise in what I'm doing. So I'm going to go VO right.
Braille tab 2 of 5. Text tab 3 of 5.
And this is all stuff that you guys know. Braille, text,
Announcements tab 4 of 5.
announcements.
Hints tab 5 of 5.
Now, here's what I recommend. You guys don't have to take this strategy, but here's what I do. I leave hints on, right? So you know how a lot of people disable hints in like the OS wide. The reason I recommend leaving those on is because Xcode can be a little bit peculiar at times. And when you're a beginner, especially trying to learn Xcode, it will be very good for you guys to understand, like, what kind of gestures you guys can do to get through things. Okay, especially at the beginning, and I still do because sometimes I struggle with Xcode. Not often, but I sometimes do. So let me.
Default speech verbosity. Hints tab selected. When an item at speak instructions for using the item in the voiceover cursor unchecked checkbox.
Again, it says unchecked because system-wide it's unchecked. But I'm going to go ahead and check all of these. Again, that's why, especially because when I'm demoing, I want to make sure that you guys know what you need to do.
Checked speak when an item has a help tag. Do nothing when an item menu.
Right. So normally I don't care if it has a help tag, do nothing. But obviously Xcode can be more complicated, and that's why I recommend having this activity.
Speak notification. Speak help.
Speak help.
Speak help. When an
says.
item has custom actions. Speak actions when an item has custom action.
Yep, speak actions.
When an item has more content. Speak custom content when an speak hints after delay. 0.5 seconds. Speak hints after delay. Slider.
I can
And
interact
slider.
with this.
0.4 seconds. Out
Okay,
of select
that's
short.
fine.
Long. Append phonetic pronunciation to single characters. Uncheck help button.
Again, all I did was VO right. Does anybody have any questions about this step before we continue through the verbosity settings? I want to make sure everybody's clear on this.
When you were at the context thing before you went to the apps and website.
Yep.
What was it that you chose for that one?
I chose source code.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That way it's like, okay, any sort, I'm kind of defining conditioned, you haven't learned about this yet, but if you can think about, if this happens, then I do this. So if I select source code in the context and, right, that word and, because both things, and
Mhm.
I'm in the app Xcode, then execute this activity.
Right. Got it. I missed that somehow, I think, because I was following you with VoiceOver and it was talking.
It's okay. Trust me, I wasn't sure what I was
Sorry.
doing. Like, I knew what I was doing, but my brain was just like going wild. So I had to like try to slow myself down.
Thanks.
Okay. So let me go here. And again, any more questions before we move on? I want to make sure people are understanding this. And again, this does change sometimes per OS. They may move things or hide things or make it different.
So which tabs have you covered already, Taylor? You covered
The hints.
yeah.
Yep, I'm working on the hints right now, Jim, and that's
You're
all
still
I
doing
am.
hints. Okay, so you start at the very right.
I did.
Okay.
I don't know why I did that, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know why.
That's cool. All right.
I think I did that because in terms of like priority, like make sure you have this first. Okay. So, of course, now I'm going to go back
Append phonetic pronunciation long.
and I'm going to go to the tabs again. If I can actually get out of
0.4
here.
speak custom speak
Hold on.
hit done.
Okay, I'm just pressing via
Help button.
left.
Append phonetic launch.
Hold on, wait.
When the night speak when the night speak hints and now
Hold on.
text tab braille
Oh,
tab.
I'm being really weird. Okay.
Text tab 3 of 5 announcements tab selected.
Okay, now I'm going to announcements. Also, we're going to skip Braille unless you guys are Braille users. Okay, so I am not a Braille user, so I'm not going to cover Braille. So remember, we're on the announcements tab now. So we're going from hints to announcements. Again, this is the way I would do it because yes, I could go left to right, but I want to make sure that I cover the things that are the most important in case for some reason like people have to leave. Okay, so I'm trying to be cognizant of time.
Hints tab announce when mouse cursor enters a window unchecked checkbox.
I'm not worried about that.
Announce when the modifier key is pressed unchecked checkbox.
I don't really care.
Announce when the caps lock key is pressed checked checkbox.
Yeah, that's helpful, of course.
Speak header when navigating across a table row checked checkbox.
Yep.
Automatically speak text and dialog boxes checked checkbox. Speak zoom magnification changes unchecked checkbox.
That won't really matter for me.
Speak voiceover cursor magnification changes unchecked checkbox. When status text changes under voiceover cursor. Play tone when status text changes under voiceover cursor.
Okay.
Pop-up button.
So
When progress indicator changes under voiceover cursor.
again, these are just announcements. I like to go through everything to make sure I have everything configured.
Play tone when progress indicator changes under voiceover cursor.
Play
Pop-up button.
tone.
When number of rows change under VoiceOver, do nothing when system dialogs are displayed. Do nothing when system.
Now I've changed this one because if I'm in that configuration and a system dialog is of course there, right? I want to make sure it says do nothing. Otherwise it could like, start beeping at me and things, right? For system dialogs. So I want to make sure, of course, I keep the way it is where it just says do nothing. I can always do VL Shift F2 F2 to see what they are.
Speak size and position in inches. Speak size and position in pop-up button.
Speak size and position. That will be helpful later in like simulators if you want to see how controls are laid out.
Speak text under mouse after delay. Uncheck 0. Short. Long. Help. But done. Default. But.
So no changes here. Again, the main reason I went through it is so that you guys could see what could be changed, okay? But there's nothing I really changed in this tab per se, but I wanted to make sure that everything was the way I wanted it before I actually continued. So anybody have questions on the announcements tab? Are we all clear? Okay, I am taking that as a yes. So I'm now going to continue and we're going to go and get to the next tabs.
Help button.
Let me
Lock short 0. Hints.
go
Do when
back
sit. Do when
here.
not play. When play
To the
tone. When
left.
speak. Announce when the mod of hints. Announcements. Text tab.
Text.
Select it. Announce hints. Tab punctuation.
Punctuation. Now this is where we're going to be very, very important to set for all. So
Some punctuation.
recall that my punctuation on the system level is some. However, some is not going to be good for coding. We're going to miss important things. So we want to make sure we select all.
Menu for none.
So we none.
Customize ellipsis.
We can customize. I'm not going to worry about that for now. But if you really want to customize certain things, again, I don't customize my VoiceOver a whole lot. I just try to make it easy on myself.
All.
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 Okay. So I recommend selecting all for the punctuation.
Repeated punctuation.
Now, here's the thing.
First 3 times.
Repeated punctuation. You're thinking, what is that? Well, let's say it says like space, 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 or dash, 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 or I don't know, right? So I recommend having it say first 3 times. I don't need to have it say 8 times, right? That'd be a little ridiculous. So that's fine here.
Repeated spaces. Do nothing. Repeated.
Now it says
Hey,
repeated.
Taylor, I have a question. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have a question. I don't see a way to have it tell me how many characters. Like, what I would really like is for it to say 80 stars or 35 dashes.
Yeah.
Is there a way to do that that I'm not that I'm not aware that you're aware of and I'm not aware of?
Ooh, you know what? There were some scripts by these people called Tyflo's Accessible Software. Are you familiar with those, Jim?
No, but I can go look them up.
They're
So
out of
it's a thing that
Spain.
can be scripted.
I think so. Yeah, they're out of Spain and they made some like I think it's called like Hyperspoon or something. I can't remember the name. But you could look at that. But
Okay,
VoiceOver can be scripted with AppleScript if you know how.
sure. I just don't want to. I mean, this
I don't
felt
want
like a thing that might be a fairly common ask, and that they
It
might have
should
put
be.
it in.
It should be.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
email feedback accessibility@apple.com.
Yeah. Carry on.
No problem. Is this all making sense to y'all? Hopefully you're able to understand the flow of the activity creation process. It can be a lot, but
I'm following along with you. So what you're doing, I'm doing.
awesome. And we're not
Okay,
gonna
now I'm
really.
annoyed.
Oh no, why are you annoyed?
Not with you. Not with you. But I'm getting ahead of you. But the next item is what to do with multiple spaces.
Yes.
Keep going, Taylor. And in there, it does have a speak with count. So
Yes.
it'll count the number of spaces for you, but not other characters. So
Oh boy. Hold on. Let me look.
clearly
Line
someone thought
indentation.
about this and didn't. And yeah.
Yeah, line indentation. Yes, that is interesting. So, yeah. Let's see.
Do
So,
nothing. Line
yeah,
menu.
we're gonna do.
Speak number of spaces and tabs. Speak level. Sound level.
Yeah, no.
Speak check
Here,
mark
speak.
speak number of space speak number.
That's kind of annoying that it doesn't do that for all of the punctuations. But again, what I used to do, I don't do this hardly much anymore, is I used to code on Windows and then like I had my parallels and it would sync over to my Mac. I don't do that a whole lot now. But what I do when I'm coding is I code in VS Code because obviously it has better indentation support and it's better in general. And then I run in Xcode. Okay, so that's just a tip for y'all out there.
So this is Michael. I was the last one who joined. So is the ask for it to speak other characters other than spaces and tabs? Is that what y'all are looking for?
I think that's what he was after.
The ask is to speak the number of characters when we're talking about repeated characters. So there's a way to tell it to say the first 3 times or first 2 times or 4 times or 5 times what I would like it to do rather than saying star, 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 repeated. I'd like it to just say 80 stars.
Okay. So like whenever you see those comments that have all of the
Yeah.
dashes or stars where it won't read them all, or it can,
Well, it doesn't read them all. I mean, there's a setting to read the first 2 or the first 3 or the first 4,
Mhm.
but I think sometimes it's useful to know how many there are. And a good
Gotcha.
way to do that is to say, 80 stars rather than star, star, star repeating, right? That's what the ask was. And I was just saying, I feel like that's a pretty common use case, and I was surprised not to see a way to do it in there. And I was wondering if Taylor knew of a way to do it. She says there's a way they can be scripted that maybe
Yeah.
Tyflow has done. So that was the ask.
Gotcha.
Hello, Michael.
Hello. I'm just in
Okay.
here listening to you guys work, so I will make myself available if you guys have questions.
Okay, so I'm going to keep going.
While typing speak. Characters and words while typing speak.
That's
Pop-up
fine.
button.
Well, okay, it's fine for me for like demos and things. And of course, you could always change it to say just characters, just words, or like nothing if you're that crazy. But again, I want to make this as equally easy as possible because this is actually my demo coding profile. I've got others that are around, but that of course I've not made yet because I just reset this link. So, and honestly, I don't really code with Xcode. Like I run with Xcode, but I don't code in Xcode on the daily basis because of obviously I just find it VS Code just better. But anyway, you can't run.
Wait. You don't code in Xcode, but you do code in Xcode? I didn't know you.
So I code in Xcode for like obviously these classes, but I like during the day when I'm working, I code in VS Code and then run it in Xcode and do all the Apple stuff in Xcode.
No,
on my
VS
Mac.
Code on the Mac is accessible.
It is pretty good.
That's
It's
good.
not as great as Windows.
No, well,
It's pretty good.
okay. And then I had another question. If I leave it set to characters, does Mac? I'm pretty new to Mac OS. Does Mac OS do a pretty good job of interrupting itself if I'm typing really fast for character echo turned on? Does it do a pretty good job of talking over itself?
Yeah, it does a pretty good job. It just all depends on like how fast you type or your preferences, but for me it works very well.
Okay, cool.
Probably also based on your engine as well. So like Alex or
Probably.
Eloquence may do different results. Results may vary.
That's a good way to put it, Michael. Thank you.
So Taylor, with repeated spaces, what did you choose in line indentation?
So at repeated spaces, I chose. Let me verify.
While type speak number of line indentation. Speak number of spaces and tabs. Line indentation.
So
Pop-up
speak
button.
lines and or spaces and tabs will line for indentation and then spaces.
Line indentation. Do nothing. Repeated spaces.
Oh, why did I choose do nothing? Okay. I should probably just choose 3 on here on the repeated spaces. Yeah, let me choose 3. Oh, like I said, I think because I had this set up differently, obviously in 18, but I think they did change some of this slightly, the mechanics. So let me change the
First repeated spaces.
Oh, you know what? I'm really weird. Hold
First
on.
3 times repeated punctuation.
Oh, repeated punctuation first 3 times. Interesting. Okay, and then there's repeated spaces. Let
First
me
repeated space. Do nothing. Menu.
do this.
Speak with count. Play tone. Speak with count. Speak with.
Speak with count. That's better. Sorry about that, Melissa. You caught something I didn't catch. Okay.
Line
And
speak while typing. Speak arrow when moving the cursor. Speak text. The cursor passes when moving the cursor.
that's fine for me.
When text attributes change. Do nothing when text
So when text attributes change. Now this is kind of interesting. So I think to from my knowledge, this would be like if I don't know, like it's bolded or like something is changed. I think that is correct. And Michael, do you know? Because I think like that could be useful depending on like, could say like it's red or ruby or
I
syntax
don't think that
highlighted.
that's as useful for coding as it is for word processing.
Got it. Okay. Okay, I couldn't remember because I don't think I had that on last time I did this, but okay. So now I'm gonna keep going.
when encountering a misspelled word. Speak attributes when encountering a.
I'm not, I could change this because obviously coding could be like a lot of misspellings, because coding is not like English. So I might actually change this because we don't want it to say misspelled, misspelled, misspelled.
Menu 4 items. Check change pitch. Check mark speak attribute. Play tone. Do nothing.
Do nothing.
Do nothing.
Because again, system wide, I want it to tell me something, but code editors, everything is, could be misspelled according to Mac OS. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. I'll keep going.
When encountering a link/attachment. Speak when encountering.
Okay, I'm not worried about this.
Read numbers as words. Read numbers as.
Read numbers as words, that's fine.
When reading a capital letter. Change pitch when reading a.
Capital letter, change pitch.
When deleting text. Change pitch when deleting.
That's fine.
Help button. Done. Default button.
Okay, and honestly, I think for right now, this is the only category we need to modify. I think. So this has most of our settings, the verbosity. Of course, I could look at the other tabs in here, but I think text has most of it all. And if you are a Braille user, you can configure how you want your Braille display to work. I'm not a Braille display user, so I have no knowledge in this area. But I'm going to go ahead and make sure, like I said, the text tab is always the most demanding one. And then, of course, you can look at the announcements and see if you want to announce different things in the hints. I don't think I want to change the other stuff in this verbosity area. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done.
Help done. Default. Set. Verbosity button. Closing dialog. Visuals unchecked.
Okay. And of course, you could also set like visuals. Like, so if you wanted to show like the VoiceOver caption panel when you're coding, so like if Michael's looking at something or if I'm doing a demo, that can be useful. But again, for this purpose, I'm not going to worry about that because I don't need to worry about showing the visual panels. So I'm going to create the activity and see how it works.
Set voice. Set commands. Uncheck. Set pronunciation. Uncheck.
I could set like the pronunciation and things, but you guys can edit these over time. Honestly, what I want to show you guys is like the basic building blocks of how I set up an activity. And then if you guys want to customize it to your heart's content, you guys can. Okay, but this is kind of the basic building blocks.
Set Braille uncheck. Set navigation. Set web. Set hotspots.
So
Source code context. So
remember
apps
we
and
set this
websites.
already. The automatic like context for apps and websites and the
Xcode apps. Add active.
Xcode.
Remove activity. Add activity. But untitled content
I did
selected.
not want to
Edit
add.
text.
Hold on. What did I just say? Activity. I thought that was going to save it.
Activities untitled. Coding.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it did save it. And now it made a new activity I do not need. So hopefully, if we go into Xcode, we should be able to see our activity at work. So let's try it. Let me get rid of this
Code
other
untitled.
one real quick.
An alert
Sorry, Taylor,
dialog. Are
I'm
you
interrupting again. So you finished with verbosity. You didn't want to do anything with any of the others?
That's correct. Again, you guys can, but I didn't need to do anything else in the others.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any other questions before I test this thing and see if it actually works? Okay.
Are you sure you want to delete the activity untitled?
I accidentally created a new activity, so you could just hit the delete key and get rid of it.
Cancel, delete, default, act.
Okay, let me go to Xcode.
Xcode, Xcode. Welcome to Xcode window. Coding activity, recent projects, table, row 1 of.
What did you guys hear? Coding activity. Okay, so if you have an activity called Xcode, you do your Xcode. If you have one called test, you'll hear test. But we set this up, so let's try to test it in action. Let me try to create the project we made last night. Let me get that open.
Recent project and my test app /desktop.
Enter.
Xcode is not responding.
Of course, that's the classic message it likes to tell me.
Now in my test app m-content view period. Swift 4 spacebar body : some view left brace new line.
Look at that.
More
It says,
content available.
oops.
You are
I keep talking over VoiceOver. Look at that. It says 4 space. Okay, if I go down.
8 space stack left brace new line.
Now, under the body, you guys are going to learn about this later. I'm not going to go too far ahead. But under the body, there's what's called the V stack, which is like a vertical container. And that is indented under the body. Okay, so it's almost like an HTML body, right? It's indented. And so do you guys hear this? Like, this is how it's set up. And let me do one more.
12 space image, left parenthesis system name : quotation mark globe quotation mark right parenthesis, new line.
See, you guys hear all of the punctuation, don't you?
16 space period. Image scale, left parenthesis period. Large right parenthesis, new line. 12 space 16 space period space.
And I did that again because remember that image is under the other thing, right? So it's all indented. Okay?
16 space period. Foreground style, left parenthesis period. Tint right parenthesis, new line. 12 space text, left parenthesis quotation mark hello comma, world exclamation mark, quotation mark right parenthesis, new line.
And you hear that the hello world is now at 12 spaces. So it's, back where the other one was, right? So let me keep going.
8 space right brace new line.
And the right brace is now one level below the other 12 space. And we're kind of getting to the end of our file here.
8 space period. Padding, left parenthesis right parenthesis, new line.
So remember that kind of closed out the last element. Again, don't worry about this code. What I want you guys to observe is this activity that we made at work. Okay, because otherwise it won't read anything like this, okay? It will just read whatever it wants to, right? But it won't read any of this detail.
4 space right brace new line.
4 space.
Right brace new line. New line. Number preview left brace new line. New line 4 space content view, left parenthesis right parenthesis, new line.
And again, it didn't say anything with the preview lines because it was not indented at all. Okay? So does this make sense? Oh, sorry.
Quick question, Taylor, Margaret here. When you
Okay.
had say you had the 4 space and then it went to a new line and then it said, if it said say 5 space after that, does that mean it really is 9 spaces? Or is it always from the leftmost margin?
Ooh, so this is a sample code and it's
No, I know that. I know I've seen the code what that is, but what I'm trying to ask is it always from the left-hand most one margin mark? Or is it, say, if it said 4 space and then if the next line was indented 5 spaces from the 4 space, would it say 9 or would it say 5?
ooh, Michael.
I would think that would say 9 because it's
Okay.
saying from the left.
Yeah.
So what I would so me personally, I would probably, one of the options in VoiceOver utility was the number of levels. So instead of saying the number of spaces, I would probably set it to the level. And that way you know that you're indented 5 levels or 4 levels or 2 levels, right?
Okay. I've always done the spaces, so.
Because if you have it tell you the levels and it knows that the indent is 4 spaces per level, right? Then VoiceOver is going to tell you level 1, level 2, instead of having to guess. Okay, how many levels in is 12 spaces, right? That would be level 3, 4. No, 3.
3.
I don't know. Um,
4 spaces
I'm-
per level,
yeah,
Michael.
yep. I'm picturing this in my head. So, yeah, 3 levels. But again, that would solve the ambiguity there.
Is it a default of 4 spaces per level, or can you change that?
You can change that, but for readability, if it's just you reading your code, you can set it to 2. You can set it to, and you can
Okay.
change that in Xcode's settings, and we'll go into settings more next week. But
Okay.
you can change that there if you want to explore the number of spaces per level, and if it's spaces or tabs. Typically, the standard is to use spaces, but it's up to you. If you are the only one that sees your code, you can set it to any number. You can set it to 3 spaces if you want each level to be 3. But I highly recommend 4 for readability
Okay.
and just to be standard.
That would help too, to always, because I always find I keep losing where my braces are and how many braces in I am, especially using the braille display. And the levels might help that too.
See, yeah, that's interesting because like I can't use Braille, so like I've always done the spaces, but I might have to try the level. See, y'all, we all learned something, don't we?
Yes.
Yes, I'm
Thank you.
glad you asked that question because I
Oh my
was
gosh.
thinking the same thing as I use a braille display too.
And because you're limited by spaces, because
Hmm.
you're limited by characters along the
True.
line, a lot of
Exactly.
times you don't know where you really are.
Right.
That's a good point for
Yep.
y'all Braille display users.
Hmm. Thanks, Margaret.
And I was having to try to move things over and take spaces out.
But
Thank
does
you.
this help?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, it does. For sure.
I didn't even know you could do that.
I didn't either. Sweet.
Oh, just out of curiosity, is there a space in like that Xcode documentation that would give you hints on doing things with VoiceOver and Xcode? Or
Nope.
that's what I thought you were gonna say.
Absolutely not. There is an old ancient Applebee's guide if you want to read
Oh
that.
yeah,
for
I
a
have
quick
that.
book.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was well
That
written.
won't do
But
you any good though for this class.
right, no, I understand. Yeah,
I'm warning you.
because he was using
UI kit.
whatever. No, I think it was the other one, storyboard.
That's UI kit. Same
Oh,
thing.
all right.
But I have another name for it, but I won't talk about that on stream.
Yeah, it was really hard.
Yep. This is
I could
all
never
done through
work with
code.
it. Okay, I could never work with it because it was just like way too hard.
I couldn't either, and that's like Michael could because he has some site, and I was like, Michael, how do I do this?
Yeah, I got way too confused. Thank you. Sorry, I don't want to.
No,
Oh, being not
great
Now,
question.
to be technical, with UI Kit and App Kit, which is on the Mac, you technically do not have to use storyboards. You can
No.
programmatically write it out, but you do not get a lot of the same demonstration and demo and previews that you get in SwiftUI. And SwiftUI is a write once, run everywhere way to write for Apple platforms. So it's a wonderful, it basically builds on the technologies that are already there. So UIKit is what the iPhone uses, and AppKit is what the Mac uses.
I mean,
And
I'm
go ahead.
confused. What do you mean write once,
So-
run everywhere? What's that mean?
So if I write hello world to the screen for the iPhone, I can use the same code to show that on the Mac. If I create a toolbar or a menu bar or a any of the controls, if I were, the old way to do it is all of them are different. You have to write different code to get them to show.
Yeah, because
And
they're all different sizes.
well, not different sizes. The Apple handles all that for you, but with Swift UI, a menu is a menu is a menu. Whereas for iPhone, it used to be UI menu, and on Mac, it was NS menu.
Oh,
But now it's just menu. A
okay.
button is now just a button.
A
Right.
It's no
label is just a button.
it's no longer a UI button. It's no longer an NS button. It's just a button. And so all of these things have been streamlined so you can write once, run anywhere.
Oh, thank you. All right. All right, carry on. Sorry.
No problem. Like I said, questions are always welcome. And again, if you did, like, if people missed this, they can watch the YouTube recording. And hopefully you guys are able to like understand this. And of course, you can ask questions in the classroom stream as well. So, any other questions before I go ahead and show you guys? I might change it real quick to levels. And then I got another demo I'm going to show you guys about how I load this YouTube chat app. So, if you guys were not here before, I have this YouTube app where it can read my chats to me. And the
Can I-
reason I brought
Can I
this
ask
up,
one quick question?
oh, no problem.
As far as apps, like, is it theoretically possible to write, say, interface with something like Zoom to write the Zoom app and pull out all the things that are written in the chat?
It kind of. So you could do that. You'd have to have a what's called an application programming interface, short for API, and you'd have to like sign up as a Zoom app vendor, and it'd be very difficult, but it
Oh,
could
all right.
technically be possible.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Again, any other questions? Hopefully this is all making sense to you.
This is Jim. How far are we supposed to be right now? Like I have a new project up and they have source code in it, and assuming I went and looked at some Swift documentation, I could write some Swift code. But am I supposed to be able? We talked last night about signing code and stuff like that. At this point in our class, should I be able to compile code and get it to run in a simulator? Where are we in terms of the class?
I would say as long as you can register your device, have your Apple ID, we didn't really show how to sign in. We didn't do that yesterday. But if you could just explore the window, become familiar with the editor, the navigators, the what's that thing called?
The
Inspectors, the inspectors in the
inspectors. Yep.
toolbar. And then also kind of look at the devices and simulators area and play around with the welcome screen. If you can get all of those things if you can become comfortable with those and get settings set up the way you want, kind of explore there, then you're going to be in a good position for next class.
Okay. Okay.
Great questions.
And you can run an app. You can basically create a new project like Taylor did last night, pick app and go through the configuration and run it in a simulator, and it will work with VoiceOver.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay.
There's a keyboard shortcut, and I got to remember what it is, but you can actually, if you perform that shortcut, you can actually, if you're on a control like a button, it will tell you how many pixels it is across and down and things, but I can't remember that shortcut to save my life.
Why would I need that?
So that you can, like, if you're trying to like at least kind of make it look good or knowing where it got placed, you could at least kind of hear, okay, it maybe is, a little off to the left or a little off to the right or in the center.
Yeah, and all of those things will be great if you want more information. The goal
Yes.
of the class, though, is we're going to maybe touch on padding and some other things, but most of this we're going to teach in a way where we don't have to know as much of of positioning at a pixel level scale.
No, we don't. I was just mentioning it from a question earlier.
So one other question, with VS Code, you can go in and do what I would consider an adequate job of reassigning keystrokes, for editing and for running code and stuff like that. Does Xcode have that option? Do I have the ability to go in and reassign keystrokes?
I haven't tried. I know they have an area where you can. change keystrokes, but I have not tried to reassign them.
No, I've not either.
What is VS Code?
Visual Studio Code. It is. Oh, go
I
ahead, Jeff.
want to just be clear that it has nothing to do with this class. It's just that
No.
Taylor mentioned it earlier, and I had a question. So VS Code is a way of writing code that's really popular on Windows and apparently works on the Mac.
That's like writing C, right?
Well, you can use it for C or Java or JavaScript or Python or all kinds of languages. It's
like
an
a
ID, it's an
global
environment.
context
It's an environment to code in
Yeah,
like
okay.
Xcode. It's just yeah.
It could be used from everything from a text editor all the way up to an IDE, an integrated developer environment, if you wanted it to be.
Okay. Can we stick with Xcode if we want?
Yes, absolutely.
yes.
The
No,
goal,
and
the goal.
I think the expectation is that you will. I was
Yeah.
asking about VS Code because it's a place I'm coming from, and Taylor seems familiar with it, and so I wanted to know if something I could do in VS Code I could also do in Xcode. That's the reason it came up.
And one of the things that Taylor and I'll tell y'all a little secret. One of the things that Taylor and I do a lot is we use a product called GitHub Copilot, which is in Visual Studio Code. It's AI. And sometimes after I create an app, I will say, I'll tell GitHub Copilot, which is an AI, let's improve the design of this and make it look a little more presentable. Because again, I have some vision, but I'm not so good at spacing or positioning things.
No.
And so I'll have Copilot look at the app currently. And like for one of the apps, I said, can we make this conversation view look like iMessage?
But yeah, I want to be careful. I want you to be careful about what you're doing, Michael, because that's something that isn't available in Xcode, which is what you want people to use for this class.
Actually,
It's coming.
is.
It's coming.
It
It's
is.
not
It is
accessible right
there.
now.
Is it available in Xcode or isn't it? I thought it was
It is
not.
there. It can be used. It's not very accessible, but
Hmm.
it is there.
So Xcode is integrated with Copilot,
No, they have, it's called Swift Assist.
which is what?
So it connects to your, you can
I mean,
log in with ChatGPT.
Is it ChatGPT or is it some other model or what?
It's ChatGPT and Claude. You can use either
okay.
one.
And you
Okay.
can
Or
use
you
your
can use-
subscription.
Or you can use a local model.
Okay.
So this gets pretty advanced with what you can do. And a lot of iOS developers online are working with, it's called Codex, which is from OpenAI. They're using that to refine their code and make things look a little bit better to speed up development times.
But is Xcode integrated with these things, or do they just take their code and feed it to?
They open the project that they have in Xcode in Visual Studio Code or
Right.
other places, and then they have the agent go and do the work. And
Right.
so what you can do is have it open there and in Xcode. And you can have it make the change. And then once it's done, you can go run it or look through the code in Xcode.
Right. So I'm comfortable with that, but I'm guessing most people are going to be like, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's outside
Yeah.
the scope of this class. Actually, at the end of the class, we will be talking about this.
No, okay. Cool. All right.
And in fact, we will be building an AI conversation bot at the end of all of the class. Like that's going to be one of the end projects.
Yeah, that's cool. But in terms of being able to use AI to factor your code, is that something that is doable in Xcode? I'm kind of hearing maybe, maybe not.
There's some accessibility barriers
Yeah.
with
Okay.
it.
All right.
I have not played with it much, and they are bringing it. Just came out like last week.
Okay.
So we will be submitting bugs to Apple. So maybe in 26 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it'll get better because I know the app that I'm going to develop for my website is mostly cited, people visit, although it is accessible, but I want the app to look good too, so hopefully it will be available for us to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that's a lot of information, but again, we like to provide tools that you guys can or don't have to use.
Mhm.
Okay. Any final questions on this before I show you guys something else? All right. I'm going to quickly stop sharing my screen for just a second to get the next demo queued up. And then I will show you guys how I put this app that I made onto my phone that I have been working on for about 3 weeks now. And it actually is a pretty useful app that I designed by myself, being blind, with AI. I actually did a live stream on the channel. So if you guys are ever bored this weekend, you guys can go watch it. All right. Let me go ahead and stop sharing just a second so I can get things ready.
VoiceOver utility finder. Zoom. Us. Zoom. Zoom.
And that way I can get things queued up. Okay. Any questions? Okay.
I was just going to ask Michael, do you still intend to address the fact that when we get new updates of how to clean up the old stuff, do you intend to address that in class?
Yes, we will be talking about that.
Okay, I know we didn't get to it last night, but I just wanted to.
We got 3 full Xcode weeks, so
Okay.
we will cover that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So I'm going to reshare my screen and I'm going to show you guys how I do this. Okay.
Zoom share.
So
Zoom. Zoom.
can you guys hear my speech?
Finder. Find.
Is it all good?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm in my folder with the project. And imagine that you have a project that you opened, and for some reason you don't want to go to your recent Xcode projects, or for some reason, I don't know, you just want to open it through the Finder. How are you going to do that? Well, so right now I will show you what I have, and then I will show you how to open it. So this is my YouTube chat reading app. It's called Stream Access. And I'm going to press up arrow so you guys see what I have.
Stream access folder. Not downloaded button. Except scripts folder. Readme. Disk folder. Git ignore. GitHub. Git folder. Not downloaded
Again,
button.
don't worry about any of that. However, I'm going to go back down and I'll show you one important thing.
GitHub. Git ignore. Disk. Readme. Scripts folder. Stream access folder.
Not this. This is actually the stream access is where all the code is, right? So that's where I'm going to find the content view and other things. But again, this is not, don't worry about this. What I'm going to show you is this part.
Stream access. SCADA Projects Code Project. September 7th, 2025 at 9.
So this is called an Xcode project, right? The Xcode project. And you heard that I can open it in Xcode, right? So it's the project that I can open up in Xcode. So I'll show you. I'm just going to open this. And when I open it, you'll notice everything goes correctly.
Xcode is not responding. Xcode is not responding.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Xcode is not responding.
Lovely.
Xcode is not responding.
What's it doing?
Kind. List view.
Hold on.
Finder. Finder. Xcode is
Aha.
not responding.
Wait a minute. What's going on?
Desktop.
Okay, it's going to open up somehow.
Xcode. Xcode is not responding.
Weird.
Xcode. Stream access M-off period.
So you notice I took the file from the Finder and I opened it up in Xcode, right? So I took it and I'm like, I'm going to open up this project in Xcode. And I'm showing you guys this so that, if you want to ever learn how to run this on your device, you can get another example of it working properly. Any questions about this part so far? Okay.
So you can open it like Taylor showed, or else you can go to the welcome screen in Xcode,
Yes.
and there's an open project button. That's typically the way I go through is through there. That way you're doing everything through Xcode, but there are multiple ways, and a lot of times I use the recents area in the welcome dialog.
Yeah, and I showed that earlier, Michael, when I was opening the test app. When I was doing the demo of that. So yeah, typically I do that, but because I didn't have this one open yet and I needed to open it, that's why I did it through this way. Or let's say that Michael sends me an Xcode project to review. Obviously, I can't do it through Xcode, so I got to do it through the Finder. So there are multiple different ways, and it's always good to know which, way will help you get to what you want to do. So I'm gonna go now and figure out where I'm gonna run this because I think it's set up to run on a Mac, which is not what I want to do. So I'm gonna go to my product menu. Remember the VOM,
Apple men X edit nav edit product menu 21
down
run
arrow,
test prof and arc build clear stop build show build copy build export
destination,
import speed destination select show all check mark iPhone. You are
iPhone.
currently check mark my Mac.
See, it was gonna
You
run
are
on my
current
Mac.
iPhone. Closing
Here's iPhone. So this is actually my iPhone. And then I'm gonna press that Command R, that sacred shortcut. Is it gonna work or is it gonna fail?
run.
Oh, I hope it's gonna work. Should. Okay. So it will work, hopefully.
Build failed system dialog.
Uh-oh.
Source
Well,
editor edit
that is a fail. I'll have to figure that out later. But I thought that was actually going to work properly. But
Taylor, what did you do to make it run? I just heard run. I didn't hear any keystrokes.
oh,
or
Command
anything.
R.
Command. Okay.
R. R's in Romeo or R's in run. So, of course, I'm not going to get into this now, but you could go to that issues navigator, that command 3, and interact with a table and figure out why did it fail, right? Because sometimes things happen, right? Sometimes you're going to get errors and you got to figure out what happened. So, obviously, something didn't go quite right, but that's okay. And again, I wasn't
It's my guess that you're going from the previous version of Xcode and version of Swift to a new version, and things have
probably.
changed. So that happens a lot, and we'll talk about that in class too.
Yeah, but I mainly wanted to show like how would you open up an Xcode project from the Finder, not necessarily in the recents. Okay? Does that make sense? Are we all good there?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Easy enough.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen sharing, and I'm done demoing for now, at least until I find something else to demo. And now you guys can ask questions or, if you guys want to do whatever. But hopefully these were helpful for you guys. And hopefully you guys were able to understand more about Xcode and other things that we didn't get to talk about in class. And you'll actually hear when a build fails. You'll hear that dreaded build failed message. So, get used to it because that could happen to you. Well, actually will happen to you at some point. So, anyway, you guys got to hear the first sneak preview of a build fail. But I'm going to go ahead and close this.
Quit Zoom.
And I'm going to stop screen sharing. But does anybody have any questions about everything that I talked about? Michael, do you have anything you want to add?
I do not.
Okay. Any questions about the class, about the content? Like I said, I mentioned earlier, I did put up an outline for you guys to look at like the different procedures and things. And that is in the week 1 topic of classroom. And it's a Word document you can just simply download. And I'm also putting up the quiz and also the prerequisites quiz, like you check to see if you have an iPad, Mac, or all that nonsense. So those will be coming out on the platform very shortly. So definitely take the quiz. And you don't have to, but I'd recommend it to make sure that your knowledge is enforced of what you learned yesterday. So, any other questions, y'all? Go ahead.
Margaret here, at times, I have commitments at 8 o'clock most nights.
Okay.
So I may end up just recording the office hours and then coming in when I can. Is that
That's okay.
permissible?
So yeah, and also like most nights we'll probably be either like putting them on my YouTube channel so you can like watch later. And I'll be putting them in the platform.
Okay, so if you pick one of the, say, I noticed the class was up today. So if you go to that, would that give you a chance to subscribe to that and then you'd see everything else? Is that how that works?
You
Or
can go
no?
to the stream where you can see the latest announcements, including like all the material, or you could go to the classwork where you can see like the, the lectures, the quizzes, all of the different things that have been posted throughout the class.
All right, so I seem to be getting everything through email. In my
And
Google,
yeah,
so I
you
don't
will
know
get everything. Yeah.
where you'd go. Is there another spot that you'd go for classwork?
So if you go to classroom.google.com, are you logged into your Google account?
I guess I am in my email.
Okay, but so to go to the actual Google Classroom website, you'll have to go to the classroom.google.com and log in with the same email you registered for this class.
Oh, all right.
And then you click
And
on
we'll
yeah.
we'll make sure all content for YouTube and these office hours are stored there as well.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That was the piece I was missing.
No problem. Okay. Any questions?
I was just gonna say to Margaret too, if you have an iPhone, the Google Classroom app on the iPhone is very accessible.
It is, yes.
I
Very
just
accessible.
downloaded it today and it comes up with your last class, but nothing on the one now.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Because mine came right up with
Well, make sure in Classroom that you're on the same account, the correct account, and there should be a list
right.
of classes that you can go to.
Yep.
Right. It should, well,
All
it
right.
asked me to sign in. So once I signed in, then I had all my classes are through you guys. So all my classes right away.
Okay, I'll double check, but I think it said continue with my Google account and I did, but I'll double check it. So,
Yeah.
but thank you.
hmm
No problem.
Well, thank you guys. This has been really
Thank you
good.
very much. Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
all your help.
And are there standard office hour nights or
Yes. So, primarily it's going to be Monday and Wednesdays at 7 Central to 9. So almost like what class time is. Again, if you need like a special appointment, time zones, conflict, whatever, I can do that. And some, of course, we probably also might have them like on Fridays. I don't know if that will be an every Friday thing, but I did it today just because it was the first week of class. I want to make sure everybody was set. But we'll kind of see for sure Mondays and Wednesdays.
okay, all right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
you're very welcome. All right. Any last questions? I don't think we have any other things before we decide to head out. Or we'll, might stick around if other people join, but that might be it. So, Michael, any last words?
No, I'm glad everybody came by this evening. Hope this has been helpful.
Most definitely.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Have a wonderful night and see you guys on Monday if you guys want to, or whenever you guys decide to come up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.